Tzu Chi volunteers host Buddha Day ceremony and clothes distribution at a refugee camp. We're raising penalties of the destruction of cultural assets to protect these historical buildings. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Maggie Tai. Thank you for joining us. Tzu Chi volunteers from Europe have gathered in Serbia to help stranded refugees. They recently distributed summer clothes to the refugees. In addition, they held a Buddha Day ceremony at the refugee camp so all the refugees could pray for peace and harmony.
To prepare for the first Buddha Day ceremony in this refugee camp, the volunteers put in much effort decorating the venue. After many adjustments, the volunteers finished setting up the Buddha statues. Then they played a video of the ceremony in Taipei so people can get familiar with the ritual. After that, attendees start honoring the Buddha. The ceremony attendees include refugees and refugee commissioners in Serbia. Despite their different religious beliefs, everyone prays for peace and harmony. After the Buddha Day ceremony, the volunteers also distribute summer clothes. They have distributed more than 1,000 sets of short-sleeve tops and shorts in Edisovich and Principovac.
I am happy here. I take these clothes. I am very happy for here. And thanks you a lot.
I'm very, very happy that we could arrange this to give them some summer clothes so they could change and not being always, in a problem. And I'm so grateful to be the part of this story, and thank you very much for giving this opportunity to me.
Some refugees immediately put on summer clothes, sharing their joy with the volunteers.
We had a great opportunity to share with them summer clothes, and you had opportunities to see how much happiness that presented to all these people.
I live in Serbia before 1.5 years, and now this moment I'm very happy because these clothes very nice, and very thanks for all organization, your organization, and all peoples.
In the next few days, the volunteers from Europe will head to 2 other refugee camps to distribute summer clothes to refugees.
Continue on, the third summer clothes distribution was conducted in current Jaka refugee camp. As most of the refugees here arrived in Serbia with their families, the volunteers have prepared summer clothes in different sizes, including children's size.
The volunteers unload the summer clothes from the small bus. So the volunteers from Europe are distributing summer clothes at Kernjakan refugee camp. Since they visited the refugee camp 2 months ago, they seem like old friends to the refugees.
We have shown respect to these people by giving them clothes and showing our love and gratitude to them, and they were very happy to see that. So we are very, very happy to have helped them, and we will continue to do so.
More than half of the refugee families at the refugee camp are from Middle East. Some of them have been in Serbia for more than a year.
I'm 1 year, 7 months stay here, yeah. And thank you from Afghanistan, but thank you for clothes. Very much, thank you.
At the distribution site, the volunteers also presented the refugees with cards with Jinse aphorisms in different languages.
You wrote something on a piece of paper, on a piece of card, which was very meaningful. It said that those people who sow the seed of blessing for sure are going to harvest the seed of blessing too. So that's why I wish you all blessings. All right? Thank you very much. Thank you.
I got this card today with a nice note, and the atmosphere was very nice here. So thank you.
International Month for Tzu Chi University of Science and Technology, students from around the world hosted an international gala to present the traditional culture from their own countries. And they've also prayed for the refugee children internationally. The traditional dance from Nepal is rarely seen. This is the International Gala of Tzu Chi University of Science and Technology, and students from around the world show their country's culture.
The essence of the Thai dance is to be elegant and move slowly. This is a required class from junior high to senior high school. The government hopes that students in Thailand can cherish this dance from the traditional Thai culture.
The theme of the International Week this year is supporting Syria with love. Students have planned many activities to invite over 100 Taiwanese entrepreneurs to join.
I saw their teamwork and they're all very friendly. Everyone has love in their hearts.
The great love transcends any boundaries. These international students came to our school to receive education, and in the future they can spread the seed of great love to everywhere in the world.
Other than the cross-cultural sharing, students also wish to inspire the kindness in everyone and remind them to care for the international refugee children. For indigenous people who leave their tribe to seek work in the city, returning home is always a safe haven. Unfortunately, when they return to the tribe, they may have difficulties fitting in. One way they try to ease this tension is through music, as many Amis living in the Hualien and Taidong find power from their musical tradition.
What the Amis sing about is something mystical and beyond the human realm, as I always felt that the melody in the old tunes is characteristic of the Amis.
Ado Kalating Pasadal is from Hualien, and Suming is from Dulan, Taidong. Two outstanding musicians that are both Amis have won both the Golden Bell and Golden Horse Award respectively. Their work brings indigenous music to urban areas, as Suming says his music is inspired by traditional indigenous melodies.
You can't miss the context of this inspiration, as you must know the source of these traditional songs and why we perform them. As for why we use popular music, I think that this can make it easier for more people to hear these songs.
This lively external impression of the Ami singing and dancing. Dancing and swaying the body with the melody and rhythm of the singing voice show vitality and enthusiasm. Amis are the largest indigenous group in Taiwan. In addition to the Harvest Festival, their wedding banquet performances are also very lively. However, after the 1980s, many Amis left the tribe to work in the city. After frequent contact with Han people, contemporary Amis song and dance has incorporated many new elements of contemporary life, such as the difficulty of their labor. Wearing a bamboo hat or a helmet shows the adjustment they have had to make in their lives, paying personally for the construction and development of the city. By returning to the tribe during festive times or celebrations, many hope to wash away their tiredness, sweat, and tears. My Heart is Closed is a popular song which is similar to the rhythm of the Amis people's own song and dance. It has swept through all the tribal villages in Hualien and Taidong.
Coin-operated karaoke made this song popular, as many people saw it and thought that the dance moves were quite special. This inspired many people to learn this song. Sometimes our pronunciation isn't standard, and if this is the case, it's easier to learn it this way. It is because of our local dialect. Yes, I think the indigenous people speak with a heavier accent.
Apart from laughing and joking, the Amis people are careful to remember aspects of their culture. At Huaren Elementary School, dance teacher Tzu Chi teaches traditional dance through this social activity. This dance takes on different characteristics as the children's props are all Amis traditional tools. When the music becomes more fast-paced, the atmosphere suddenly becomes serious. Rituals and conversations with ancestral spirits were carried out through song and dance.
This part of the song is to convey our connection with ancestral spirits through this tone. In the middle of the song is many words which don't have much meaning, but just a sound. Actually, sometimes we'll add lyrics to the song to honor our ancestors.
Dance teacher Tzu Chi is only 30 years old and is the deputy director of this well-known Hualien dance group. She has watched Amis song and dance gradually become commercialized and lose its original flavor in order to cater to tourists. She sees this as a struggle and believes that they should never forget their roots.
We hope that the real culture will allow students to learn the old songs and some of the stories from our culture. I still insist on teaching from a traditional culture perspective.
Returning to traditional culture to find strength allows the heritage of indigenous people to remain strong. Perhaps this group of children will leave their hometown in the future, but it's everyone's hope that one day they will return to their hometown.
Today's feature report discusses the protection of cultural assets. In our first episode, we look at the regulations that govern the cultural assets. In 2016, an amendment was passed increasing the fine for those implicated in the destruction or damage to the historical buildings so that the public can raise awareness for history and culture. Unfortunately, stiffer penalties alone seems to be not enough to save these assets.
This old courtyard house is built from red brick. Unfortunately, the beauty of this place can only be remembered in photos as we pull the camera lens back. The house has been destroyed and now covered with plastic sheets. The scene is really disconcerting for many, as they were too late to save this historic house.
We used registered mail to notify the 13 owners of Taiyuan Di, telling them we will conduct a cultural asset review on February 23rd. We regret that on the morning of Lunar New Year's Eve, the owners commissioned an excavator to tear down the Taiyuan Di.
At the beginning of this year, NGOs received inside information that Taiyuan Di was about to be sold, and the Cultural Bureau rushed to save it. It was listed as a temporary monument, and on the door a notice was posted that a legal review was underway. Temporary monuments are similar to historic sites, as 3 members of the Wen family face a fine of $669,000, along with a jail sentence. Still, this did not discourage those who tore down the building.
We have now raised the penalty, but we think it is still not enough. Why? Because the benefits of selling this land far outweigh these penalties.
According to the law, the penalty will not start until the historic site has the status of a cultural asset. So I think some may think that they could escape the penalty. They definitely wanted to destroy the building before it was designated a cultural asset.
Changing the law to make it stricter may not be useful, as experts say that the rush to destroy buildings without any legal responsibility can undermine the value of designated cultural assets. This Chen family cemetery had yet to obtain protected status as a cultural asset, as it was listed in track, though Chen's descendants were angry after a few days of heavy rain when they saw rope marks on the stone pole. If it is not vandalism, then many are asking, what is the truth?
I saw a rope mark and then a rope. I reasonably suspect that the intention is to destroy this ancient tomb.
According to data from the Bureau of Cultural Heritage, only 12 cases have been identified for criminal penalties in recent years. While this may be a good figure, in reality, there are many cases of old houses spontaneously catching fire, which may make the data unreliable.
When it is designated as a monument, the house may suddenly catch fire, which means that the owner doesn't want the building to be designated a cultural monument, as they are burned before such designation.
Looking back, when we designate these cultural assets, though no one appreciates the special status, could actually lead to destruction and waste of these important assets. The harsh reality is that these policies may be incomplete.
Tzu Chi volunteers in San Francisco have been carrying out a Happy Community project for disadvantaged children. This year, they chose 6 children for a 9-day trip to Taiwan to learn more about Tzu Chi. Their first step was the recycling station, and were surprised to learn that discarded PET bottles could become useful nylon fibers.
Really tiny string in between, bind it together to make one string you can see here. So it's actually thinner than your hair.
6 children from the Happy Community Project, carried out by Tzu Chi San Francisco volunteers, have arrived in Taiwan for a special route-seeking trip. The troop visited a recycling station to see its operations, were surprised by how discarded materials could be used again.
I'm actually pretty amazed about what we just saw. For example, one t-shirt could be made of 14 water bottles.
Most of you are first time to Taiwan?
Yes. After touring the recycling facility, these students come to the Tzu Chi Humanitarian Center to learn about the Tzu Chi Foundation and its ideals.
I want to take this opportunity to give these children a broader worldview. These children are from poorer communities in San Francisco, and I hope that this opportunity could allow for Tzu Chi to have a deeper influence upon them.
So that means we try to give the newspaper the second life.
These children came to Taiwan to seek out the roots and learn a deeper understanding of Tzu Chi. The support of volunteers and their concern has left a seed of goodness and beauty in their hearts.
Ma Hongshan is a student from Tainan First Senior High School. His health is poor because his mother was using drugs during pregnancy. Now his mother is in jail and his father is working in other cities. He lacks family to be around him. Nevertheless, he performed well academically and wishes to become a judge in the future because of his father's reminder, which is to help the minorities.
你可以试着去想一想，这一段在这整篇里面的重点是什么？
This young and handsome 11th grader, Mao Hongshan, is representing the school to compete in the Chinese language contest. Before the contest, a hidden secret was unveiled because of a suit of clothes.
Hongshan asked me if he can wear his uniform to participate in the contest, and that's when I realized that he has no clothes to wear for such an occasion.
Mother has been using drugs during her pregnancy and was put in jail right after I was born. We haven't kept in touch ever since. The last time I visited her was during 8th grade, which is about 3 years ago.
He only has a vague image about his mother and his father, who has long been working in other cities. Although his parents are not around, he still ranks #1 in his class academically. Every day after school, he rushes home to help the household affairs. Born in a low-income family, Hongshan has received scholarships to ease the family's financial burdens. The rough situation has made him work harder to achieve his dream.
My dad used to always tell me to help people in need in the society, so he wants me to study law.
When I'm mopping the floor, he will carry the water bucket for me. If I tell him I'm not feeling well, he will help me to do household chores.
Filial piety and strength Hongshan demonstrated has won him the National Filial Piety Award. Now he is studying hard in hope to change his family's situation. He has always kept in mind of his father's reminder, which is to be a person that knows how to give love. Patients with mental disorders may show progress on their treatments, but the hardest part for them is to get adjusted to the society. Hualien County Rehabilitation Association worked with the hospitality industry to host a job training program and internships at local hotels, hoping to get them to get back to the workplace smoothly. The interns follow the professionals' instructions mindfully. From their acts, it's hard to tell they have been suffering from mental diseases.
The hardest part is not that they can't be treated, but the society won't give them affirmations, but instead giving them a lot of doubts. This part requires many people to open their hearts and arms to accept them sincerely.
The society has many misconceptions about mental diseases. However, these patients joined the job training program, and in just 2 weeks, they've already shown great results.
Step by step, I'm learning slowly to do my job well. I hope I can finish my job fast and neatly.
Through the hospitality industry and the Rehabilitation Association's support, they are hoping that in the future more patients can conquer their difficulties and return to the workforce. Children with special needs require more support and care from the society. Let's look at how a cerebral palsy patient Rizky and a Down syndrome patient Rina work with Tzu Chi volunteers in Bandung, Indonesia to improve their conditions. 4-year-old Rina is getting more lively and cheerful, and she's no longer afraid of strangers. Her parents are both working in the city, leaving her to her grandmother to care for.
At first, I didn't know what to do. Rina has Down syndrome, and she had pulmonary tuberculosis when she was 7 months old. I had to take her back and forth to the hospital.
After 2 years of treatment, both Rina's mental and physical care has improved. In Maruyong village, a group of children who need special care are trying hard to improve their condition through social support.
Before, there were really parents who despised their own children, but this is no longer an issue here at Maruyong village. There are many special children here, but they are getting more and more cooperative and brave. They've all improved themselves.
This strategy volunteers gave to Rizky can help to improve the physical ability of patients with cerebral palsy. The 4-year-old Rizky can hardly sit up straight, hence his mother often needs to hold him in her arms.
A month after he was born, he fainted suddenly and was unable to move.
Rizky's parents love him very much, hence they took him to seek medical treatment everywhere.
I need to massage him here for 10 times so he can learn to chew. Both left and right sides need to be massaged 3 times a day.
This place has been providing special children with regular treatment for more than 3 years, while Tzu Chi volunteers continue to provide assistive device, support, and companionship. Volunteers in Tzu Chi, Malaysia host the DaAi Mothers Cultivation meeting twice a month, so these housewives and retired teachers can go into the campus to tell stories and teach correct thoughts to the children. We will leave you with these images and thank you for joining us. Goodbye.